Good morning and welcome to Newswatch Today. I'm Cameron Lee.
And I'm Austin Mickey. The Missouri state budget looks to make a large update.
And a major bridge collapse has many still not found.
Titus Smith is here with your forecast and your latest sports news. This is Newswatch Today.
I tell you what, Austin, it's good to be back. I know I've been gone for a couple weeks.
I know I've missed you.
You know what I missed? Us accidentally matching our outfits.
I know, you know what they say. Great minds think alike. And speaking of great minds, Titus is here with our weather today. Titus, what do you have for us?
Well, today we're currently looking at the current temperature being 29 degrees, a sunny day overall. Luckily, winds are not going to be blowing as hard, coming from the southeast, looking at 3 miles per hour, more like a chill breeze than anything. Later today, humidity staying at about 90% with a high of 64, still sunny. A fairly good day with a jacket to go out and do your activities. Winds only picking up slightly, but more on my full forecast later.
Thanks, Titus. I'm looking forward to the warming up a little bit. It was cold this morning.
Yeah,
so.
I hope we have a really nice Easter weekend ahead of us. But I guess we'll know more in just a little while during Titus's full forecast.
A cargo ship in Baltimore lost power and struck into the Francis Scott Bridge, but not before having a routine maintenance check before leaving the port. The bridge held 8 people in total, with 6 workers who were on a break in their trucks when it collapsed. 4 are presumed dead, while 2 of them have been confirmed. The other 2 were rescued. The ship's crew had issued a mayday call and reported losing power just minutes before colliding with the bridge. With this being considered a major roadway, the bridge is set to be rebuilt as quickly as investigations can be wrapped up.
With 8 weeks left in the Missouri legislative session, the Missouri House has started debating a $50 billion state budget. Budget meetings, which usually start in January, began in December in Jefferson City. Governor Mike Parson proposed his $52 billion spending plan back in January at his final State of the State address. House Budget Committee Chairman Cody Smith has now recommended cutting $2 billion from this proposal. Democrats are saying Republicans are rushing the process and putting less hours into budget hearings, while Republicans disagree. Smith, who is running to be Missouri's next treasurer, stated him and other Republicans are satisfied with the hours they've invested and with the finished product. The House is expected to debate the budget on the floor next week. Once it gains approval, it will head to the Senate with a constitutional deadline to get it to the governor's desk by May 10th.
It's a battle for the crown as students go head-to-head in the annual Mr. EU competition. From talent showcases to surprise contests, it's a night packed with entertainment and excitement as contenders fight for the title of Mr. EU. Elijah Vanetta with more on the story.
Every semester, the men of Evangel compete to decide who will be crowned the next Mr. EU. The competitors are interviewed, perform in a talent show, and compete in a secret round to decide the winner. A lot of work goes into the planning and preparation of Mr. EU.
We've been working on Mr. EU since the beginning of the semester. We have this thing called AB Retreat, and there we get to do a few different things, and one of those is the event. Teams go and they decide how they're going to go about their event. And this event was actually a create your own event, and they chose to do Mr. EU again, which is so phenomenal because it's a long-standing tradition.
Because tonight will be the night that I will fall for you.
Mr. EU contestants compete round by round until they are eliminated by audience vote, and one man remains to be crowned Mr. EU for that semester. The competitions make for a great night of excitement, enthusiasm, and elimination for everyone who participated here at Evangel University.
I feel good. I'm just happy to even be able to be a part of this. It's like really cool. It's a blessing. I'm super happy that all the boys competed. We did really well. I think everyone did great. So I'm just happy I could be here.
The whole rhythm section was the purple gang. Let's run. Everybody, let's run.
All the fun wasn't just left to those competing to be Mr. EU. In between official rounds, audience members were able to play in competitions to test their balance and speed. Winners of these competitions got to take home the glory of their wins.
This event has been a long time in the making. All the competitors feel that everyone performed greatly. For Newswatch, this has been Elijah Vanetta reporting.
On Monday, April 8th, Evangel's chapter of Theta Alpha Kappa will be raising funds for future conferences and events. TAK is the National Honor Society for Religious Studies and Theology. They'll be raising money by eating pizza with the theology faculty. This event will take place at Neighborhood Pizza Cafe from 4:30 to 8 p.m. 15% of the profits from the evening will be donated from the Neighborhood Pizza Cafe to the Honor Society. Make sure to tell them you're with Evangel when you place your order and enjoy your pizza. On Tuesday night, Evangel students in the music department put on the Voice Area Recital. This event took place in the Barnett Recital Hall, and it featured several of the Evangel Music Department's best singers, split into groups of 10 men and 10 women each. Each student took turns reciting in a variety of classical songs in various different languages.
It was amazing. Both the girls and the guys' pieces were just beautiful. Ran super smoothly. Quite frankly, in my opinion, just beautifully well done, honestly.
This event marks the beginning of a busy month for the music department, with events such as the jazz band concert and the orchestra concert. Cameron, I'm personally really excited to listen to some of these concerts from the music department.
It genuinely is a busy season for the music department right now because we have the guest coming in pretty soon, shortly, to talk more about some of the student recitals that's coming. So that's a lot ahead for the music department.
Yeah. And up next, Silver Dollar City's newest ride blasts off this week.
This and more when we get back from the break.
Times get dark. We can't see the help that's all around us. Let 211 be your guiding light for mental health and other resources. Call 211 or visit 211.org.
You're not going to get it all right. Just make sure you nail the big stuff. Like making sure your kids are in the right seats for their age and size. Get it right at nhtsa.gov/the-right seat.
What a disaster.
You're a disaster.
This is a disaster.
You can't be ready for every little disaster, but you can prepare for a big one. Make an emergency plan today.
My biggest fear in the middle of my addiction was that I would never be able to get over it and that my kids wouldn't have a father. I started thinking, you know what? This isn't my story. For the longest time, fear held me back from ultimately being who I wanted to. I had to become a better man to be a better father. It's important to me that my kids are empowered and truly believe that if they can think it, they can do it.
The internationally awarded amusement park Silver Dollar City announced the opening of the new and improved Fire in the Hole, one of their most beloved attractions. The coaster's grand reopening celebration will start at 9:45 a.m. on March 30th. The SDC Mayor Brad Thomas will hold a ribbon cutting, which will be followed by a ceremonial trip down the tracks. This ride is SDC's largest investment to date for a single attraction at a whopping $30 million, according to a release from the park. The new Fire in the Hole is housed in a climate-controlled building that is 5 stories tall. The ride will feature immersive scenes, onboard audio, and enhanced digital displays. Thrill seekers who brave the coaster will travel the 1,512-foot-long track at 8 feet per second, making 3 drops and a final water splashdown. Cameron Lee is standing by with a special guest. Cameron?
Thanks, Austin. Today we have Caleb Moore here to talk about the student recitals here at Evangel University. Thanks for being here today, Caleb.
Yes, of course.
So kind of tell us a little bit about yourself. What grade are you in and what's your major?
Yeah, I'm a junior and my major is worship leadership.
Okay, so that follows in along with music majors, correct? Okay, so kind of tell us, what are these student recitals that we have seen pop up mostly all this semester?
Yeah, so student recitals are a way to celebrate our students as they go through their degree, but it's also a degree requirement for certain students. So you'll see recitals pop up pretty often, sometimes for juniors, and a lot of times for seniors throughout their years here.
Okay, and so you said some majors are required to have it, so not all music majors are. Which ones are required to have it?
So there's different kinds of recitals. There's more of the traditional classical ones that music ed will do, vocal performance, and a couple others. And then there's more of a contemporary version of that in the worship leadership degree. So they'll do like a worship recital.
Yeah. So you said sometimes for juniors. You're a junior. Does that mean you have a recital coming up?
Yes, I have one coming up. It is going to be a classical recital. And for me, it's not required, but it's in hopes to get into a good grad school after school.
So what kind of things does this recital showcase that kind of helps get into that grad school? Like, what's the purpose of the recital for the grad school purposes?
Sure, so grad schools will look at what kind of recitals you've done, and then they'll kind of look and decide if they want you. So for mine, I'll be doing a classical recital, as I said, featuring some songs by Bach, some Italian, some Spanish, some English, all of the above, but it'll be fun.
Okay, so genuinely, be honest, how long did it take you to learn all those languages in the music?
Oh, it's kind of a bunch of songs I've been learning over the years, some of my favorites, so 3 years.
That makes sense. It would take forever for me to learn a new language, especially when singing. Okay, so because you're a junior, do you think there will be more recitals for you in the future?
Most definitely. I'll still have to do my worship recital, and I'll probably do another one next semester too.
Okay, so kind of run us through, you told us kind of what your classical recital is going to look like, but you'll have to do a worship one in the future. What would that kind of entail? What would that look like?
That'll just look like a night of worship you may go to at your church. It'll just be here at Evangel. Someone will speak, someone will lead worship, and it'll just be a time to worship the Lord together.
And so as a worship leader degree that you have going on for you, do you plan all of that? You plan who the speaker is, all of that?
You do it all by yourself, and it's kind of your grade for that class.
So do you have to bring in, kind of tell us what it looks like to plan something like that?
Sure. So you'll sit down, and what I like to do is come up with a theme for the night, and just talk. And so whether that's faithfulness or sometimes a couple different themes, and you'll plan who's playing the bass, the drums, all the things, and then sometimes you will speak, so that person will speak, or sometimes you can bring someone in or something like that, and then you also have to have like a special element in it, whether that's like a solo or you bring like strings in, which a lot of people do, or something like that, something different in your recital. So.
Okay, and what are some of your favorite worship songs that you might, as of now, I know they kind of change over time, but as of now, if you had to plan one, what would it look like?
Ooh, one of my favorite songs right now. A song that's really been resonating me just because of the words and the meaning of the song, not so much the musical side of it, but is Good Plans. We do it a lot in chapel, but just that the Lord is good in every season.
Yeah, that's really good. So can anyone come to these recitals? How does someone get in? What's the invite code? How does that work?
Anyone can come. It's open to everyone. There's no invite code. You just come.
Okay.
So they're usually in the recital hall in the Fine Arts Building, and anybody can come.
So you kind of, as the student who's putting it together, you're kind of like, please come.
Please come. Please come.
Do you get extra points if a bunch of people come?
No.
No? So if no one comes, you still get the same amount of points. You just got to put it on for an empty room.
Yep.
Well, okay, then I hope people come.
Me too.
If you're listening, I hope you come. So kind of tell us, in general, how excited are you for this event to happen?
I'm very excited. I've worked really hard, and I'm excited to just share this gift that God's given me, and I think it's going to be a great night.
Well, thank you for being here today, Caleb. It was exciting to actually get to dive into what these student recitals are and what we've been seeing pop up all semester, so thank you for that. Let's go back to the desk with Titus and Austin.
Thanks, Cameron. So Titus, what's the weather looking like for the rest of the week?
Well, we're looking at warmer temperatures overall up until Easter. Easter should be looking good, and after that, it's going to become slightly colder as precipitation comes. We're going to have more on that on my full forecast.
When times get dark, we can't see the help that's all around us. Let 211 be your guiding light for help with food, healthcare, and other resources.
211, how can I help you?
Call 211 or visit 211.org. 211, get connected, get help.
You're not going to get it all right. Just make sure you nail the big stuff, like making sure your kids are in the right seat for their age and size. Get it right at nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat.
Easter is less than a week away, and consumer spending is expected to top $22 billion. According to the National Retail Federation, a total of $22.4 billion is expected to be spent this year. People are predicted to spend an average of $177. Food is expected to be the highest spending category, followed closely behind by clothing and then gifts. Meanwhile, the price of cocoa surged to an all-time high on Tuesday. This means you could be paying more for chocolate in the stores this year. The NRF predicts spending on Easter candy will drop to $3.1 billion. That's down from $3.3 billion in 2023. It's kind of unreal that people are spending billions of dollars on candy, but it also makes sense. We're buying it for the kids, Easter baskets.
Yeah, and even as a 20-year-old, I still do Easter egg hunts with my family.
I get it. It's chocolate. You have to.
Yeah, and I hope the weather for it is going to be
Yes.
nice this weekend. Titus, what can you tell us about that?
Well, the weather will be looking friendly on Easter this week. To a small recap, we looked at colder temperatures today with a high of 64. And compared to the almanac, we're looking at slightly colder than what is the average for today, but nothing else changes. About half an inch more more rain than we normally have. Going on to our satellite, we have a main storm coming across our friends at the East Coast, moving northeast. Luckily, though, Missouri itself is mostly not going to see any of that yet. Moving on to radar, we are also looking at these snowstorms in the top left corner of the northwest. Sparse snow moving this way. It will eventually come across to Missouri, but it will most likely come to our north and just over us. And again, we have that rain and precipitation along the East Coast, which should be going on for a decent amount of time. Moving on to the temperatures, about everywhere right now is a normal 60 degrees. We're looking at Topeka having a 70, a higher spike. Overall, temperatures are the same everywhere. Looking at the high and low pressures, we can see that snowstorm I mentioned in the northwest. Overall, the rains currently in the southeast. We're in a high pressure area. That's why we're having the sunny skies, thankfully, which should continue on to the next week. Now, currently, as time is progressing, Friday, Saturday, and into the weekend, we are looking at highs of 70 degrees. Easter is going to reach the highest with 78, and the low will only be in the 50s and 60s. Great weather for your Easter events and shenanigans. But as the week continues, we're actually going to look at a small cold front coming in, bringing temperatures down to the 60s and lows of even 35, 36. That's due to the rainstorms we'll be having, scattered thunderstorms and rain bringing in that cold front. But it should be nothing too much to handle. But luckily, our Easters should look fine and happy for Easter egg hunts. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Titus. According to the great and infamous Titus, our shenanigans for Easter are covered when it comes to weather. So
I'm very excited.
I'm excited for the warm. Yes.
And just around the corner, Titus Smith will be back to give us the latest in sports.
This and more when we return.
Severe weather can strike anytime, anywhere, but there's a simple way to stay safe. Hey, Jim Cantore here. I stay safe in dangerous weather by planning ahead. You can stay safe too with a few easy steps. Build an inexpensive kit with supplies for your family's needs. Write down important information like phone numbers and medications. Always talk with your family and remember any pets in your planning. Be ready, be safe. Start your plan today at ready.gov/plan.
Hey, Bobo, do trees tell each other stories? I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out? Listen.
Do clouds take naps? I couldn't tell you. Dad, do stars visit their friends?
Look!
When times get dark, we can't see the help that's all around us. Let 211 be your guiding light for help with food, healthcare, and other resources.
211, how can I help you?
Call 211 or visit 211.org. 211, get connected, get help.
I want to eat apples and bananas. I need to eat apples and bananas. Why can't I eat apples and bananas?
Support the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks to help provide meals to those in need. Join us at feedingamerica.org.
A teenage bull rider from Republic, Missouri is making an inspiring recovery. Kaysen Hall was having a good amount of success on the local bull riding circuit until an unfortunate ride earlier this month in Arkansas. Kaysen had to be airlifted to a hospital in Little Rock, Arkansas, and was immediately taken into surgery after being thrown off his bull and getting hit in the neck by the bull's horn. His recovery has been blowing everyone's mind as he's come off of 10 days of sedation, where the doctors worked on his neck, throat, and anything else that was damaged. The medical experts treating him are confident he's going to be eating and swallowing on his own soon. He's already walking and dressing himself, and the teenager will also be able to speak again, though his voice may be a little changed. Kaysen, along with his mom and dad, are currently still in Little Rock and will remain there for at least another month or so as he continues to recover. Well, Kara, I'm glad he's going to be okay, and as a bull riding fan, that's really insane that happened.
It makes me want to cover my throat. Yeah. It's crazy to think about. I would consider bull riding a sport with how dangerous it is. And speaking of sports, we got to go over to Titus again. What can you tell us is happening in the world of sports?
Well, 4 Evangel basketball students will be receiving the College Sports Communicators Academic All-District Team for the 2023 and 2024 season. Players who received the award had to achieve both sport and academic qualifications, including a 3.5 overall GPA and be a key starter with significant statistics. These players include Josh Pritchett, Garrett DeVault, Micah Clayton, and Carson Dillard. In other news, Evangel's women's golf team placed 3rd in the William Woods Spring Invite. Rain caused the event to end early, but regardless, Evangel was able to beat out Ottawa, William Woods, Central Methodist, and Cotty. Susanna Blackwell led Valor with only 1 point over par, placing 2nd individually, which was only 1 stroke behind 1st. On to national news. Private equity billionaire David Rubenstein purchases the Baltimore Orioles, who he will inevitably acquire ownership of 70% of the team after buying it from the Angelos family. He spent $1.7 billion on the deal, making it the third most expensive sale of a baseball team. It comes behind the New York Mets' recent sale of $2.4 billion and the Los Angeles Dodgers for over $2.1 billion. Peter Angelos originally bought the Orioles for only $173 million, around 30 years ago. And finally, Dusty May has been hired to be the Michigan coach. May had previously been the Florida Atlantic coach for 6 seasons before transitioning. He has said he wants to build a team that will play off their players' best strengths, while also filling Michigan seats by playing entertaining basketball. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Titus. I don't know what I was thinking it would cost, but billions of dollars for a team kind of blew my mind.
Yeah, that's insane. And also, like, about the Evangel men's basketball team, it's really awesome to see athletes excel in the classroom and on the court.
Absolutely.
That was really cool. And when we get back, the Springfield Mall is inviting everyone over, but not for shopping.
And Titus is with us for one final look at the forecast. All of this when we return.
Leaving hot coals improperly extinguished can cause a wildfire.
Hey guys, it's Smokey!
It looks as if Smokey is going to use the drown, stir, drown and feel technique. After the first drown, a good start. Next, another drink. And finally, a close feel.
Is it cool? Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, Smokey, catch! Oh, my bad, Smokey.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
When I first saw a turtle, my heart was full. Now I'm anything but lonely.
We had this like deep connection, this heart connection.
He just wants to be close to you and part of your life.
Every day with turtle is a perfect day.
When I'm holding her, it makes me feel calmer.
I think everything he does shows how much he loves us.
When we adopt a shelter pet, we discover they're a little bit of a lot of things.
But they're all pure love.
The Battlefield Mall is partnering with the local organization Arc of the Ozarks to give support and give resources to individuals with autism and their families. The mall will host its annual Autism Information Blast event with the Arc of the Ozarks at the JCPenney East Court on Saturday, April 6th. This free event aims to grow its network of special needs providers, provide resources for the Springfield families, and inform them about the autism spectrum. Attendants will also hear from various regional educational experts, physicians, therapy specialists, and safety professionals who will talk about resources those on the spectrum and their families can use to improve their lives. I think it's really special that the Battlefield Mall in general is going to gather and let them have this event because it's such a huge need in this community.
That's an amazing service that they're providing.
Yeah.
And so we know what's going on indoors. Titus, what can you tell us about the outdoors?
Well, Easter will be looking well this Sunday with our highest temperatures of 78 degrees. But we're going to start getting that rain and thunderstorm on Monday and Tuesday, bringing in a cold front, bringing down the temperatures. But up until Easter, should be looking fantastic.
Thanks, Titus. I'm excited for a warm Easter weekend.
I know, it's going to be amazing. Even though it will be followed with some showers, but we can enjoy the Easter.
Absolutely.
When we can. So that's all for us today. I'm Austin Nikki.
And I'm Cameron Lee. For more on EUTV and for the latest Evangel news, go to euvalormedia.com. This has been Newswatch Today.